you take a guess at what ASMR stands for? Can you take a guess at what it stands for?
Something. I know it's something to do with particular soft-sounding audio, isn't it?
Autonomous sensory meridian response. I don't know if you've ever experienced that or...
Do you know what ASMR stands for?
Yes, autonomic sensory something response.
It's massive on social media now at the minute, ASMR, and it can really calm me down. I have suffered with anxiety before myself, so having that kind of calming feature to be open to listen to, it's quite interesting what it does to your brain and how it makes you feel.
Hello.
That's actually like the worst.
I wish I had better things to say, I just don't get it.
That is grim.
Sorry.
Anyone that likes that has deep-seated trauma, like from not getting enough affection as a child.
People are into weird stuff. I don't get that.
I'm sure this person's really nice, but this is really weird.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, that's horrible.
Right, there's no way I'm continuing with that one. That's... No. Why is she scraping a brush on a coconut?
So that's a wig.
My name is Jonathan Jerry. I'm a science communicator with McGill University's Office for Science and Society in Montreal, Canada.
Hi there, I am Fluidity ASMR. I'm from Texas in the US. I'm 25 and I'm an ASMR artist.
Yep, so my online name is ASMR Muzz. My real name is Murray. I am 43 and I'm from Edinburgh.
Yeah, so ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
It's an involuntary experience of a sustained tingling sensation, usually in the head, but sometimes lower as well. It has also been described as a brain orgasm.
I always reference Bob Ross. The joy of painting with Bob Ross. To me, that's ASMR. That's like the basics.
The Bob Ross connection is interesting because there is one study that looked at that and the potential connection with ASMR, and it actually concluded that the joy of painting may actually be distinct from ASMR because the participants that experience ASMR would endorse it in a way that was distinct from ASMR stimuli. So they enjoyed the Bob Ross video, but they felt pleasure at watching ASMR videos. I've watched some ASMR videos. I'm trying to find out if I experience ASMR, and I do not. So it's not something that I consider I have first-hand experience with. But I do find it interesting from a scientific perspective.
It helps with insomnia. And I know that because it helped with my insomnia too when I started watching it. So
I think I was introduced to it in 2016. And it's because I actually myself had a lot of sleep issues too. I was in college at the time, so I'm sure you guys know how it is, where at the end of the day, you just can't get your mind to turn off.
I'd like to think there's definitely a therapeutic thing in ASMR for everyone if they want to watch it, if they get something out of it. But, you know, it's kind of it's not really my area, I suppose. I couldn't say for sure.
So I used it as a tool for that a lot, and I always kind of thought that, oh, you know, one day when I have a more quiet place to live, I would like to try it myself and, you know, create ASMR videos for others to help them too.
It is an emerging scientific phenomenon, and it's very interesting at first because a lot of people start reporting the same experience. And there's disbelief because it's not something that can be readily measured objectively. So you're relying on what other people are saying they're experiencing. So it's easy to sort of doubt it or sort of cast it aside, be like, oh, they're making this up. but it has become so big. I mean, on YouTube, it is massive. It is one of the most searched for terms on YouTube, sometimes even before music, that clearly there is something happening there. And so it's been very interesting to see early studies of ASMR that are trying to figure out what exactly is going on there, because these studies have been quite challenging.
Loads of people, I mean, if you look up ASMR in the news, God, I think there was like a tabloid story ages ago where some lady rediscovered her life through ASMR because, it was just, it somehow made her sleep again and all of that. And hey, that's good.
So I haven't seen any data showing that ASMR can actually be used as a treatment for anything. And if we are going to make that claim, there needs to be evidence behind that claim. It has to be shown to work. It has to be compared against whatever the standard of care is for whatever condition we're looking at.
I would have to put my own disclaimer in there to say that I can't say that ASMR is a therapy, and there is a bunch of science regarding ASMR that says it is a therapy for some people, that just to relax, if nothing else.
I personally think it's a very helpful tool, but it's not one that's going to replace therapy or any other treatment. I'm hoping that as more research is done, it'll kind of really define what the benefits of ASMR are, and maybe it can be used as a more accepted, widespread tool in conjunction with traditional therapy.
Obviously, the risk of watching ASMR videos is minimal, even if there's no evidence that it helps with anything specifically. The risk, the background risk is always that you're going to do that instead of seeking the help that you need. So, I mean, it's probably not a great way to treat clinical depression, I would imagine, but for everyday stress, it seems to be soothing and relaxing for people who have that ASMR response. So, and also, unfortunately, for people who may be lacking intimacy in their lives, there is that intimacy, surrogacy component to it that you also see with parasocial relationships that develop with social media influencers. I'm not saying that it's healthy, but it's a free avenue for getting that intimacy that you may not be getting in real life.
It's definitely irresponsible for me to say that, yes, my videos are good treatments and can replace typical types of therapy or sleep medication or anything like that. So hopefully one day in the future, but right now, unfortunately not.
It has been reported in the literature that a lot of people do this to improve their mood, to help them fall asleep, to help them deal with stress. Again, there's no strong evidence of that. We don't know what the long-term effects are in sort of addressing these conditions. More studies are needed, as always.
In Bob Ross, he talks to the screen. That's not a trigger. That's just normal. Everybody talks to the screen. But when you really delve into it, he's not just talking to you. He's actually like, and I've got a brush here. This is a trigger. He'll be brushing on the canvas, and you'll hear it, the scratching of the canvas. And then, I guess at some point somebody was like, "Oh, that is a really good sound. We should make a video just with that." And then you'll have that sort of sound happening where they brush the microphone, and some people might not like it, but a lot of people really do like it, and because it sounds like they're actually brushing their ear. And so that's a trigger.
So ASMR triggers are essentially what is done to trigger ASMR. So sometimes some people will hold up this glass and be like, okay, this is my ASMR trigger today. But it's really the act of what they're doing. So tapping on the glass, drinking water from it, whatever the actual action is that triggers the viewer's ASMR response. Oh, that's redundant. That triggers the viewer's ASMR is the trigger.
Then you've got your visual triggers where, you might be trying to pretend to poke somebody in the face or whatever, or calm them down or whatever. That's not the sort of thing I do quite so much, but I have done it. So that's a trigger. A trigger in the basic sense would be what elicits the ASMR response. And the ASMR response is generally described as a relaxing sensation with or without the tingling sensation that can come with that. I get that. A lot of people get what's called a tingles in their head, and it's super relaxing. It's like a free drug. I mean, you know, who doesn't want that? And especially if you watch it late at night and you're about to go to sleep, you just conk out like that. It's brilliant. So that's triggers.
It's definitely a hobby. So my full-time job is actually in the engineering field, but it's not a very creative job in my opinion. So it's nice to have this other hobby / outlet.
Yeah, so I have a day job. I'm a IT audiovisual technician during the day, and this is a hobby. Ideally, I would like to succeed at it, make more money. I have made some money at it, and I've made enough to buy equipment.
And obviously I've been able to grow my community a little bit on both YouTube and TikTok. So I'm hoping one day in the future, there'll be the option to make this my full-time job, because I really love the creativity that comes along with creating videos. And like I said, knowing that I'm helping other people sleep too when I have had these issues myself.
You know, even as a hobby, you know, you might only make $200 a month, but you know, that adds up. And then after a year or two, you've got, you know, a couple of $1,000 you go spend on something, and it's, you know, it's decent. Obviously there's people out there who can make, you know, tons of money at YouTube in general. I'd like to be there at some point, but I'm not there yet. So.
Yeah, the oddest ASMR video that I've seen is where somebody is whispering to you while caressing firearms. I didn't think that ASMR would go in that direction, but yes, there's a content creator out there, maybe more than one, I don't know, but I found one whose whole shtick is to basically tap on and caress guns of various sizes while whispering into a microphone. So there's ASMR content for everyone out there, clearly.
Honestly, any ASMR video that I click on is inspiration to me now. So the one that I was watching a lot at first was ASMR Glow, and she is very big on YouTube. She has, I want to say, almost 2 million subscribers right now, and her videos are absolutely perfect. And so it wasn't until I started branching out into seeing other smaller creators. One I would say is Ancient Whispers ASMR. I don't know if she's posting much anymore, but at the time she was the first one who I saw who didn't have, you know, millions or even hundreds of thousands of subscribers, who had kind of a more casual setup. I think she had a curtain or something behind her. And I was like, oh, you know, that's actually something that I could do. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I can just try, and maybe one day I'll be to ASMR Glow level.
I really like watching, my sort of default actually is, oddly enough, is not strictly ASMR. There's a channel called Nomad Barber, and all he does is go around the world learning about different like barber cultures in Greece and Turkey and India and stuff like that. And they'll have like shaving and like facial massage. You can kind of imagine what it would be like if it was you on the receiving end of that. So it's nice. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, it's like an escape, I suppose. But that's what I like. I quite like that stuff. I like everything though, but that's probably my favorite.
I would say just give it a chance. You're not going to experience ASMR unless you're open to it. And I get that it's known as cringy, or a lot of people don't really understand even what it is, or they think it's something super weird that only weird people do. But it really is a wonderful tool where if you can find your triggers, it's great for relaxation. And if you give it a chance and you absolutely hate everything, then you never have to do it again.